So I'm driving around and I'm kind of just letting the YouTube, I just said the YouTube like I'm an 80-year-old man, but letting YouTube kind of play on auto. And a story about the interaction of Marjorie Taylor Greene with Dr. Fauci comes up. And a lot of people don't know about Marjorie Taylor Greene, funny enough. She's the representative for the 14th District of Georgia. And I know about Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'll explain why in a second. Besides, I probably follow politics more than most people do. And the interaction she has with David Fauci, it's kind of like if a snarky, smart-ass liberal who thinks they're better than everyone else was doing their impression of a conservative. Because it's really, really stupid. Like, Saturday Night Live really can't do anything else with this. So one thing I keep hearing people kind of say when they talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene, besides of how terrible she is, deplorable, disgusting. I mean, before she got into office, she was actually following around a victim of a school shooting. Well, not a victim. I guess if you're a victim, you'd be dead or injured. But someone who survived a school shooting because this guy was lobbying for gun control. So one thing is people like, well, when is Marjorie Taylor Greene going to be removed? Like, when are her constituents going to vote her out of office? Well, I can tell you guys, I don't think they will anytime soon. So the 14th District of Georgia is basically like, if you can think of Georgia and think of the states that surround Georgia, directly to the north, you have Tennessee. You also have North Carolina, but let's not focus on that. Let's focus on the northwest portion of Georgia. You have Tennessee and you have Alabama. And Marjorie Taylor Greene, she represents that section, which is in the northwest portion just above Atlanta. And whenever you talk about this part of Georgia, part of the country people associated with Atlanta, let me tell you something. When you leave Atlanta, you drive 30 minutes outside of downtown Atlanta, you're in a whole different world. And when you go up there, guys, basically, even though it's not that far from Atlanta, this cosmopolitan, racially mixed, really largely black population center, you're in an entirely different world. And it's extremely conservative, right? Culturally, you're basically in the Appalachians. Like, geographically, you're in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains, and culturally, you're in the Appalachians. I'm sweating as I'm sitting in my car. So that's kind of my point. That's the reason I know so much about her, because that's where I'm from. That's the place I was born in, and that's the place I grew up in and lived there until I was 20. And this area consists of it consists of a lot of people, not your disenfranchised, poor, I guess you say working class, but actually what you could think of, I guess the term petite bourgeoisie. These are people who they actually make pretty good money, because despite it being in the foothills of Appalachian, despite it being in the South, there's actually a thriving textile industry. And no credit to Marjorie Taylor Greene, there's actually other industries that are growing there. Part of the Green, not the new Green New Deal, but other initiatives by, I believe it was Biden or Obama, where they're actually getting solar technology there. So the point is that you have people there who are conservative and wealthy and well off, and not just Republicans, which they are, but MAGA Republicans. And the more she basically shows her ass in Congress, the more support she will get from these people. And I know this because I grew up with them. Now I'm going to get out of here before I sweat myself to death.